friends, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Fort Worth Roots. You can find the Fort Worth Roots podcast on all of your favorite streaming services, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and many others. You can also get us on our website at fortworthroots.com. Also on YouTube, each one of these episodes has a video associated with it. So if you'd like to see our bright, shiny, sparkly faces, go to YouTube. Look up Fort Worth Roots. Stay tuned to the very end of the episode. We talk a lot about events that are coming up and our sponsors. Real quick, today, we would like to bring up our newest sponsor, WAVVY Digital. You can find her on Instagram at WAVVY Digital. That's WAVVY. There's two V's in there. WAVVY Digital. And if you're a musician, if you're a small business, and you're looking for somebody to streamline your social media presence, this is who you need to talk to. If you're looking for a way to do the social media thing in a local way, in a very effective way, look her up. WAVVY Digital on Instagram. WAVVY. That will be in the show notes. December 16th, we are opening up the doors at the Fort Worth Roots podcast studio for the very first time. And if you're listening to this, you're invited. We'd like you to come out, hang with us. We'll be passing out free hugs, live music from Richard Keller from Itchy Richie and the Burning Sensations, some finger foods, little BYOB situation. Just come out, check out the studio, hang with us. And if you're a local musician and you're looking to get on the Fort Worth Roots 2024 playlist, this is an excellent opportunity to come out, put your name on a form, and give us permission to use your music on this playlist so that our listeners can vote on your music. So that, again, is going to be December 16th, and we're looking at probably about noon to 5. We might change that timetable a little bit depending on circumstances, but noon to 5, December 16th. And if you need directions or any information, just hit me up. media@fortworthroots.com, or you can DM us on any of the social media sites. By the way, that's always Fort Worth Roots on all of it. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Today's guest is somebody that's been on the show a couple of times in the past, but never really had the spotlight herself. Follow her on Instagram at WAVVY Digital. Please give it up for our friend, Gionna Scott. And let's start the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Fort Worth Roots. I'm with Gionna Scott here from WAVVY Digital, and proud to announce that we've got a new sponsor for the show. Thank you for being here.
Of course.
Now, you got to talk this episode.
I know. I hate talking. That's why I'm always behind the camera.
Last time we had you on, I think both times we had you with Octavio, right?
I was behind the camera.
And he has rebranding now, right? It's Octavio.
Yes.
Okay.
He's heading that direction.
Formerly known as
Tavo the Trill.
Tavo the Trill, yeah. Now, is he the only artist you're working with right now here in Fort Worth?
Yes, as of now.
Okay.
I was in the process of moving to Fort Worth whenever he and I first started working together, so I didn't want to take on too much, but now I'm here, so send me all the things.
So you moved to Fort Worth?
Yeah, so I'm actually located in Fort Worth now.
Where did you live before?
I lived in Gainesville.
Oh, my God. That's right. Okay, I do remember that.
Yeah, which is about an hour and some change away.
Because I think the last time you guys were here, y'all either had just come from Gainesville for a show,
or we were going to Gainesville.
Okay, how did that show go? I think it was
in January, right? I think it was.
Don't get me lying.
It was. I had like a pajama winter formal type thing, and he and Dank and even Eric Evans. I don't know if you know him, but they all performed.
Eric Evans' name is really familiar. I don't know.
They do a lot of music together, the three of them,
Okay.
And so they all three performed. Good old Gainesville, Texas.
Was it a good turnout?
It was. Yeah.
I'm always really excited to see the turnout whenever we go to one of these R&B hip hop things. Mm-hmm. Help me out here. Would we call Dank 817 and Tavo the Trill or Octavio? Would we call that hip hop?
I mean, I guess so.
I'm still caught up with that. I don't
genre them. Yeah. I would assume so, but like if you ask him, or ask them, I guess they're considered rappers, so I guess you would maybe say it's hip-hop rap or something. Mm-hmm. I sound so miseducated, but
it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, and I think their sounds are very different, so it's
100%,
kind of,
yes.
Even between the two of them, their sounds are sort of different, and then they're also different from what you hear on the radio, so it's kind of hard to say, okay, yeah, they're hip-hop, they're rap,
yeah,
or they're just in their
whatever.
artistry, you know? Like,
Well,
so.
and Octavio has already told us on the show, at least last time, maybe the time before that too, he doesn't want to be considered a hip hop rap artist at all.
Right.
He wants to be considered an artist, a musician.
Exactly.
So,
because I've had friends, when I've introduced them to him, they're like, "Oh yeah, you're her rapper friend," and he's like, "I'm an artist." So yeah,
get it right, dude. All right. So what? I know with what you're doing, you're more of the digital landscape. Can you kind of explain to us what WAVVY Digital does?
So right now, I still have a couple of clients back in Gainesville. One,
So you're making that drive.
not all the time. I have
Right.
to go down there anyways every other weekend. So I try to put it to where if they need content, it's during that time. So
Yeah.
I'm not going back and forth because I mean
Okay.
my mom still lives there. So
Yeah.
so I go there. She's a med spa, so she does all different types of things. And I go there. I get the content for her. Pictures, videos, whatever, and then I come back, edit them, and then I post for her. So I run her social media account.
Okay.
And I do that for her and another person as well. So I just kind of manage their social media, the captions, the hashtags, everything. Essentially, they just give me their username and password, and I handle everything for them, so they don't have to do any of it.
And we talked about this before we went live, but that is a full-time job for each one of those clients.
Yeah.
Clients.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure. And I did it full time last year. I think whenever I was here is when I was doing it full time, and then I kind of missed the stability of having a 9 to 5. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
well, let me do that for a little bit, get more clientele here in Fort Worth, and
Sure.
then go back to doing it full time. So
Well, and that's what you got to do, I think. Whenever you're starting up something like that, you have to kind of build up your client list and stabilize your brand and your company before you can take your foot off that very stable stone to get to the
Right.
next step, right?
right.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, and I try not to put people in a year-long contract because I know things change, things happen as well. So typically I have like a 90-day contract.
Yeah.
And sometimes they renew their contract, or sometimes they're like, okay, well, I can't really afford it. Because, I mean, if we're being honest, social media marketing is a luxury. It's not really
Sure.
something you have to have. You could easily do it yourself.
I would definitely disagree with that, though, because in this landscape, it seems like the only way to get your message out, or you know this because you're in marketing.
Right.
You need multiple sources for your marketing. You can't just do one thing. And I feel like social media is an essential part of a business
It is, for sure.
marketing plan.
It is, for sure. But for some people, they're like, I can do it myself. So granted, they don't do it as wonderfully as I may do.
Right.
But they're like, that's a cost that I can cut. So my clientele, it just changes. And so because it's not stable, I mean, I do the people I have now, they've been with me for almost a year. And so it's nice to have that. But I mean, I've had different types of clients since I've started. I've had barbershops, I've had hair salons, the med spa, I've had boutiques. And so it's just all over the place.
Well, for your clients that are new to business, they're going to find this out over time. Is you got to focus on running your business, and if you're trying to do the manual labor plus the paperwork plus
Right.
compliance plus advertising plus all the social media stuff, eventually you're going to quit. You can't. You're either going to adapt and find people to do these little segmented pieces of your business so that you can focus on just the business, or you're going to quit.
Right.
Because you'll burn out.
Right.
So,
Because it's a lot, especially say it's only you. You don't have any employees. So
Yeah.
you're going to your store, wherever, your brick and mortar, and you're working. And then on top of that, if you're so busy, you didn't even have time to post anything on social media. So then people are like, okay, what do they have in store? And they go look at your Instagram or your Facebook, and there's nothing there because you weren't keeping up with
yeah.
it. And so I've had times where I've come in and seen what they started with, and then I've just had to basically like rebrand the whole Instagram because it's not really, appealing to the eye. It's just something simple, stock images. And people like videos, like Reels, TikToks.
That's where we're at today.
Yep.
And you got to keep up with those trends. So it's impossible to be good at all those things.
Right.
You need somebody that can stay on top of the trends and what's popular at this point and what's not working, what is working, what the algorithm wants,
Exactly. Because the
which is
algorithm,
always changing.
I was going to say the algorithm in itself is a whole beast. So for sure.
So where's how did you make the transition into working with musicians? Because it sounds like you started with smaller businesses and now you're working a little bit with local musicians.
Yeah, trying to do both. So I was already doing marketing, and then Octavio and I were already friends, and I would go with him to shows and stuff, and then so it kind of like piqued my interest, and I was like, well, let me help you, like let me see what I'm able to do. Give me like a year basically, and because I want to learn this industry, give me a year, let me see what I'm able to do for you. And I was like, let me just be in the booking side of things. Let me see how much I can get you booked within this year. And so my goal for him was to have something for him monthly. And I was able to do that. He wanted to focus on podcast and things like that. And there were a few shows that, because he's a control freak, I think he mentioned that the last time we were here, he likes to have his hand in it as well. So I would send him things and he would know how, because I mean, I didn't realize that a lot of times artists, especially here, they're having to pay to be a part of these shows. I didn't realize that. And I thought it was super crazy to me that they're having to pay. And so he would be able to go in there and get better deals. And say, for instance, I could, because I didn't know anything about it. So I'd be like, okay, well, I can do the podcast side of things because, you know, for the most part, podcast, you're just going on the show. You're not having to pay anything.
Right.
And so
if you ever have to pay to go on a podcast, you're talking to the wrong people.
Yeah. And again, I felt the same way about the shows. Like, I didn't realize that. Like, some of them, they would have him pay, and then they would, like, he can make his money back because they would give him tickets, and then he would have to sell the tickets.
I've heard that. You know? Like, the artist will have to buy 25 tickets.
Right.
And if he can sell that to 25 of his friends, then he's not out any money.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you can't.
It's dirty. There's other places around here do that. Ridgely Room specifically, I don't know if it's just Ridgely Room. And please don't sue me. I don't know that I'm right or wrong. I could be completely wrong about this, but I have heard through people, reputable sources, that in order to play somewhere like Ridgely Room, you have to do that. You have to pay to play, and I don't understand that at all.
Right.
And to our musician friends out there are plenty of places around town that will pay you to go play there. So if you don't want to pay to play, you don't have to do that in Fort Worth, but there are unfortunately a lot of places like that.
And depending on the shows.
You want to drop some names?
No.
Okay.
There would be bigger shows that have huge headliners.
Yeah.
And those, I guess I could understand. But again, like, sometimes it just didn't make sense to me.
It never makes sense to me.
He would handle those. And then I would handle more of, like, just strictly the podcast and getting him booked on different podcasts and things like that.
Okay.
So after doing that, I became more interested, and I'm like, okay, like, I want to do this for somebody else, for more people. Even if it's just doing bookings, even if it's just getting them booked for podcasts, for instance, or finding them shows and being like, hey, are you interested in this show? I'll reach out on your behalf, and then if there's any more logistics, then I'll tap you in, and then, you know, so forth. So, like, for instance, his Amplify 817 show, which
was great. I was there for that.
It was awesome. There was a lot of things on the back end that needed to be done. Like, they needed to upload his music so that they could see his catalog. And so I did that.
Nice.
So things like that. Like, I'm able to do a lot of things, and I know that depending on the artist, it just depends on what they're wanting you to do for them. So it looks differently. It's like creating your own package for each artist, because you never know what their need might be. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you see yourself kind of migrating more towards that than small businesses, or are you going to keep it kind of diversified?
Yeah, I think I want to have a very diverse portfolio. I want to be able to learn different angles of marketing as best as I can.
Are there any other artists in the area that you're working with right now?
No, just him. And he's been doing a lot more bigger things. He just shot a video with Peso.
Oh, very cool. He did some music with him, didn't he?
Yeah, so he has a feature with him, and they shot a video for that feature.
Okay.
And then him and
Has that been released yet?
No, it has not.
Okay, when it does, please share it with me.
And then him and Eric Evans, they have a song coming out as well. But no, it goes back to me not being in Fort Worth yet, and I wanted to wait until I was here to kind of tap into the market here once I was here and settled, because heaven forbid they need me and I'm all the way in BFE, Gainesville.
Hour and a half.
And I can't get here or not make it, because I like to go to the shows. If I'm working with an artist, I would like to go to as many of their shows as I can. So,
well, and Octavio is all over the place. He's in Gainesville. He's in Denton. He's like, doesn't he go to like different states as well? Haven't I seen him pop up on tickets for? Maybe I'm just thinking it's so far away. It might as well be a different state.
I think he's mainly been in Texas. I don't know if he's done anything outside of Texas.
But like north of Amarillo.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's like Panhandle.
He's a traveler.
Yeah. Dallas. Like, he's been all over the place.
Yeah. But if you're going to work with other artists, and I know that he likes doing that. So
yeah, for sure. And I've talked to Ernie, and I told him, I was like, hey, look, I'm here. I'm ready to like work. Ernie's plugged in, I feel like, everywhere.
Does Ernie not have somebody helping him right now?
He does. But I'm saying as far as like me.
Roan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Me going with them to things to meet other artists, stuff like that, tapping me into the different industries because he's all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's killing it on TikTok.
He is. Craziest bars. I'm like,
craziest bars I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah. He even has a really good following on Instagram as well.
I'm sure. I think
it's over 100K.
Yeah. I've gotten to where I'm just hyper focused on TikTok lately. So definitely seeing his TikTok traffic. I feel bad. I think I'm kind of pulling away from Instagram and Facebook, but I really need to stay on top of those because I feel like, and you know this, TikTok is always riding the razor edge. We don't know if we're going to lose it or not. So any kind of progress you're making on TikTok is always, is it gonna get banned tomorrow?
Right, because you know that the overflow will be back on Instagram
for sure.
So
for sure. But almost everything I put on TikTok goes onto Instagram.
Right.
And I'm sure you have a process like this too. But I upload on TikTok, save those videos, put them on Instagram, which I've been told not to do, but I do it anyway. And then it goes to Facebook from Instagram.
Why were you told not to do that?
Apparently the algorithm doesn't like it, but I don't play the algorithm game because I don't understand it.
Gotcha.
And
I've heard the algorithm gets kind of messed up whenever, like you can auto share it to several platforms.
I only do that it goes from Instagram to Facebook. So
I was told that they don't like that either. Like you're supposed to, exactly. It's the same thing, Meta, that you're supposed to upload them separately. And I'm like,
well, I'm not doing that.
I don't either because it's like if it's already gone over there, why am I gonna, you know? So yeah.
You literally have an option to auto share. So we're done. Yeah.
One thing.
Well, awesome. And so, did you move to Fort Worth specifically just so you could be closer to your artist?
No.
Okay.
No. I wanted to get out
that's dedication.
I wanted to get out of Gainesville anyways. And in the process of doing that, I was looking at different jobs and stuff in the area. And I have a banking background.
Okay.
And one of my friends from Gainesville, she moved to Weatherford. And she started working for the bank that I now work for.
Oh, cool.
And she's like, you should come work for this bank. It's similar to the bank we used to work at together, like, blah, 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 blah. And so the position that they had available that I wanted was in Fort Worth. So it just made sense to move here. And then, everything kind of aligned where I was here. And now I can do more things for the artist.
Did you immediately notice a cost of living increase?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It wasn't like this 10 years ago.
It's like a night and day difference.
It's pretty wild. Yeah.
And everything's like 20-ish minutes away.
Yeah, even if it's right down the street.
Even if it's 5 miles.
Because you got 100 intersections and lots of traffic.
Yeah. And that was an adjustment because Gainesville is super small. So it took me literally maybe 5 minutes to get to where I need to
clear
go.
Across town. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been good though. I've been here since August. So
we got the food though. Make sure you get a gym membership because we eat right.
It's been... I have a 6-year-old, and she has fell in love with being able to do anything after school. So every day she's wanting to go on some type of an adventure. And I'm like, this is, one, we're going to get fat, and two, like, you're going to make us broke because we're just going from place to place to place every time.
Well, there's for sure. Absolutely. But there's so many really cool free things you can do in town, too. One of the most interesting things I think, I don't have kids, but if I did, we'd be at the Trinity Park all the time on that really badass
Dream Park.
Yeah, Dream Park. It's amazing.
We've been there.
And I don't know how long that thing's been there. I was out there jogging one day and I ran by that thing and I'm like, what is that? It's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just free access.
Yep.
Beautiful. Get out there.
And then they have little vendors there sometimes too.
There's always something going on. Yeah. This studio actually stole something from that park. There was a traditional Japanese taiko band that played out there every Sunday in almost any kind of conditions. In fact, if it was raining, they would move under the bridge. And they've got these huge taiko drums that the leader of their group, if I can say that, Sean, made these drums, these big drums. So they're out there just banging these drums. And Sunday, about 9 o'clock in the morning, you'd go, if you're running or whatever, there they would be playing their music through, and you could hear it for a mile in both directions up and down that strip of the park. Well, we stole that from them, and they practice here now. But that is such a cool park. There's always something going on there. Not car shows, but get-togethers and people out there biking and dogs, and it's just a really cool spot.
It's so long, like it's massive.
Yeah, if you try to, walk, run, jog, bike that thing, that's a full day event.
Yeah,
it's huge
for sure.
And there's bars and restaurants up and down it. So, but anyway, point of that is, there's lots of good places, good ways to spend your money.
Yeah.
But there's also some free stuff too, and the parks are amazing around here. I have to
tap into the free part of things because she's expensive.
It is. There's another really cool spot that's fairly inexpensive, but I think it'd be a great Saturday treat, and not a sponsor of the show or anything, but it's an aquarium inside the, what's the name of that mall? Just down the street here, there's a mall. It's not the River Oaks.
We've been. It's
Ridgemar. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been.
Ridgemar. They've got the aquatic.
Sequest.
Sequest, yeah.
We went.
That's pretty cool. And what was it, like $11?
We actually, fun fact, if you go on, I think it's Groupon or something, they have free tickets. So my sister went on there. Damn. My sister went on there, and we got free tickets, and we took my daughter, my nephew, and me and my sister were able to get in.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And you can, you could spend all day there, or you could walk through it in 20 minutes.
The aquarium? Oh, it's definitely a 20-minute walk.
Yeah, I mean, if you stayed there and hung out at each one of the exhibits, because, I mean, you can touch what are those? Those aren't manta rays.
Have you been inside of it?
The big flat fish. Have they changed it a lot?
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's so sad. What is it now? Can you describe it?
No.
Oh, okay. But it's that bad? Really? Oh, that's terrible. Last time I went, they literally had a mermaid swimming around inside this tank.
Yeah, it's definitely not that.
Oh, no. No. That is so sad.
Yeah. Like they did have a sloth, and the sloth wouldn't even come out. Yeah. And then the little baby sharks, they were literally at the bottom of the aquarium.
Oh, this sounds very bad.
Yeah. So.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, we'll scratch that off your list, folks. That doesn't sound like something I want to point you towards.
I'm like, wait, which one did you go to? Because I was like,
It was incredible.
Yeah.
It was amazing whenever it first opened up, and they were very aggressive about their business plan. Like, they were going to open up these aquariums in malls all over the country because, like everybody else watching this or listening, all the malls have just turned into ghost towns.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, they can't rent space because it's not worth anything. No one's going there.
Yeah.
And that mall, Ridgemar Mall, their big draw was the movie theater and Sequest for a couple of years. Wow. And I guess Sequest just dried up.
That's crazy. And I say that it would take 20 minutes because it's not that big anymore either. It maybe took us exactly 20, and that was us being in the gift shop for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not that big.
That sucks. I thought it was a really cool idea. I was like, okay, malls are going to turn into these attractions.
Yeah.
Right? I guess not.
You should go check it out just so you can see what I'm talking about.
I do want to go by there and be like, so what happened?
Because when the first time that it opened, the week that it opened, we went and there's people everywhere. You could not even
go inside?
walk. No, because literally the line, lady was like, even if you were to wait in line, you wouldn't be able to get to the front by the time it closed. It was that bad, that packed. So we were like, oh, this is going to be amazing, you know? So then we waited a few weeks, and we went during the week to see if that would help. And it did. Nobody was there. Nobody was in line. And me and my sister were shook.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had an iguana exhibit, and I don't remember what kind of lizard this is, that the eyes move in different directions, and it changes colors and stuff. Is that a chameleon?
Oh, yeah, chameleon.
But there was a lady, and she had it out walking on her arm, and then there was, like I said, there was a mermaid in the sea ray, or whatever you call those things, the flatfish.
Stingrays.
Yeah, that Irwin, I think. Yeah. Anyway. Really cool stuff. They take the barbs out and they explain to you, oh, no, these are safe. I'm like, I'm still going to be over here, away from that. Because I remember Jeff. Never forget. Yeah.
Crocodile hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go check it out.
You are,
that
for
sucks.
sure.
Well, is there anything else that you can tell people? Because they're probably honing in okay, where are great places to take my kids? Have you found anything else?
Cost friendly or just in general?
Just in general.
I mean, my daughter is very bougie, so she does like to go get her nails done.
This is your 6-year-old.
Yes.
A bougie little 6-year-old.
She likes to get her nails done. She likes pho.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got a couple of good places like that.
I do like Fun Grill over there off of Hewlin. That one's a really good one. And there's like a little hidden gem in White Settlement. I don't know what it's called exactly, but
I've probably been there.
They have really good pho. The pho house, maybe? I don't know.
It's not that one right by Sports Clip, is it?
Yeah.
Across from QT, kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's kind of like on the corner.
Uh-huh.
Yep. That one's a really good one. Those are normally my like go-to. If
what about that one on 7th? Is it still there?
I don't know. I've never been.
There's a ramen place I like to go to. There's also a pho place.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm about eating. Like, we like to eat. So
we're Texans. That's what we do.
Have you been to Charleston's?
Where's it at?
It's on Hewlin as well.
Probably not.
It's like on the deeper side, like when you go further down off of Hewlin, like over there closer to the TCU part.
Okay.
It's in like a little shopping thing. That one's really good.
Probably haven't been to that one.
We like Cane Rosso's. The Magnolia Wine Bar has become one of my favorites. Maggie's R&R is really good.
Are those right across the street from each other? Yeah. Okay.
And I'm trying to think.
Been to both of those then.
There's actually a new bakery. It's called the Lucky Duck Bagel. And fun fact.
It's right there on Magnolia. It's next to a pizza place.
It's on. No.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking
it's by 7th.
Okay.
And it's I found it because Fort Worth has this thing on Instagram called Fort Worth's Love List or something like that. So I follow it, and it came on there. And if you go in there and you get an iced drink, you get a free rubber ducky. Or if you go and make a Yelp review, they give you the huge rubber ducky.
Oh, nice.
So just fun fact.
Very smart. All right, put that on the list. Yeah, that Fort Worth Love List, shout out to them. I've reached out to them, wanted to get them on the show. But it's pretty incredible what they've done.
Yeah.
And they can walk into a place, and they've done it. I know they've done it at McFly's down the street. And Casey was telling me that Fort Worth Love List went in there and did a video, and I think he was talking about engagement on their Instagram went up like 300,000% or something. It was insane.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy. But they've helped me find a lot of good food places just from like looking at, some of the things that they've shared. So they've been good.
They're on another level now. Can't talk to them, I guess. I've tried. So, did you live in Gainesville your entire life? Is that where you grew up, went to high school, all that good stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So this is your first time out of Gainesville?
It is. It's been crazy. It's been an adjustment just because all my family and friends are there.
Right.
Like my two best friends, three best friends, went to high school with them. They still live in Gainesville. Yeah. So we literally have to plan brunch dates just so we can like see each other every couple of weeks and catch up and stuff. But
don't stop doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I refuse. We've been best friends honestly, even longer than that, like since the 2nd grade. So I mean, they're for lifers for sure. But it's been nice having so many different opportunities here. And just being able, like I said, to like, if you want something, you literally have anything you can think of here. And it wasn't like that in Gainesville. You would have to drive to Denton, or Sherman to get Sephora or Ulta. Restaurants. They didn't have really a big selection of restaurants. Yeah. So that's been nice as well. And just like, I go out now and I people watch because it's way different. Like it is such a different vibe than in Gainesville. I'm sure. But I don't regret it. I'm glad that I finally got because I had been talking about it for years, and my dad lived in Dallas, and he's like, you have to get out of Gainesville. Like, you just have to. And I was like, okay, I will.
And where's your dad live?
Right now, he lives in East Texas, but he lived in Dallas born and raised, really. And then a few years back, he moved to East Texas with my grandparents. It's so funny because I went to high school in Abilene. Okay. And moved out for the military and then ended up in Fort Worth. But it's so funny whenever you get away from your small town, the perspective changes, and you're looking in from the outside going, you guys have got to get out of there. Right. You don't see it. You don't see it while you're there. Yeah, because you're like, everything's fine. Like, it's fine. Everything's fine. And then you get out and you're like, holy crap, how did I do that for so long? But it works the other way, and your dad's a model of this because after enough time city life, you want to get away from it too.
you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts getting under your skin after a while.
And he's like in deep East Texas.
Yeah.
Like, so he's
That makes sense.
living the country life.
Yeah. You want to come out to the city, make your money, and then get the hell out.
But I couldn't have lived in Abilene either. I had to go there for training for where I work, because that's where their headquarters is in Abilene.
Yeah.
And I was there for training 2 different times.
Do you mind me asking what you do?
First Financial Bank is where I work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're huge in Abilene, apparently. And I went there for training, and
There's 2 banks in Abilene. First Financial and Abilene Teachers.
Yeah, I didn't realize when we were in training, they were like, oh, like, you just make sure when you're out, be on your P's and Q's, because if they know that you work for First Financial, like, they're honed into how you act, like your character, basically. And I was just like, okay. So after training, I'd go to Target, and I'm like, I can't even, like, talk on the phone. Like, I just need to get what I need to get, because there's no telling what I'm going to say if I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just need to get what I need to get and just go back to the
Housing
hotel.
prices are going up to 12% next week.
Yeah. Like, heaven forbid I let a cuss word come out of my mouth, you know? But, yeah, I couldn't have lived there. They did have I don't know if you've been back, they have a really good pho place there. I think it's called, oh my gosh.
I usually end up going to Abilene once every couple of years.
Okay.
Just to see some good friends. But,
Phoenix Pho is what it's called.
Okay.
Yep.
There's been some interesting changes in Abilene, just like Fort Worth. I mean, Fort Worth 10 years ago, it was nothing like this. And I tell people all the time, like, we used to go, if we wanted to see a show, we had to at least go to Grand Prairie because we didn't have Dickies Arena.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't there. And so shows, you know, very least Grand Prairie. Usually we had to go to at the time it's called the Jexa Energy Pavilion. I don't know what it's called now, but out there in Dallas, it was Dos Equis for a while. And I don't know. You have any idea what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
But I don't know what it's called now.
Yeah, it just changes names all the time. So anyway, but now we've got Dickies.
Yeah.
So if you want to spend $500 for nosebleed tickets, we've got a place for that now. I'm a big advocate for people like, listen, don't go see Garth Brooks for $500 and hate the show. Not that Dickies is a great arena. It's beautiful. There's not a bad seat in that place. So let me just kind of step that back a little bit. But you can take that $500 that you're going to go see one high ticket artist, and you could spend all year going to see local musicians around town. Magnolia Motor Lounge, Pouring Glory, McFly's. You know, a lot of these places don't even have cover charges. Anyway, Abilene changed a little bit over the last 10 years, but the population has stayed exactly the same. They got a Hooters about 5 years ago, and that was the talk of the town. But since then, there's been a bunch of other businesses that have moved into town. So
I heard about Cadillacs and Guitars.
Guitars and Cadillacs, yeah. It used to be the biggest honky-tonk in Abilene. I don't know if it still is, but enormous dance floor.
Gotcha.
And if you were looking to score yourself a DUI or a black eye, that was the place to go.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I was told, because, I mean, our trainer had a whole book just for places for us to, I mean, we were there for a week. So she's like, here's the places that you should try. And it was on there, but I was like, I don't feel like that's, you know, like really like my vibe. So we didn't go there, but I did.
Good call.
I did find a really good pizza place down there. It's called Vagabond.
Okay. New to me. Haven't heard of it.
And then we went to a place called Blue Goose Cantina.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not familiar with that one. I know what you're talking about, but I don't think I've ever been in there. They've done a lot of work trying to revitalize the downtown area and turn it into. Somebody told me the other day that Abilene is the storybook capital of the United States or the world. And I'm like, okay. What?
That's what she said too. And she's like, there's even storybook characters downtown.
Yeah.
And so, of course,
Yard art all over the place.
yes. And it was like 3 little pigs, and it was like a statue of the 3 little pigs, you know? And I'm like, so
Dr. Seuss stuff.
Yeah. I'm like, so is this what makes it the storybook, you know?
Something like that. And probably has something to do with the Grace Museum, which was always really cool when we were kids. It's been there forever. Cute little museum art exhibit right there on the main street that goes through downtown South First, I think. And they used to have a dinosaur and a car kind of poking out of the top of the building. It's always been a cool spot, but I think all of that is kind of centered around that corner of downtown. Last time I was down there was the winter of 21. I want to say New Year's 2021 I was there. And I wanted to just kind of walk around Abilene and check it out. And I walked by kind of that corner of downtown, and there's the Abilene Reporter newspaper building. Windows busted out, curtains blowing through the busted windows. And I walked up to that thing and I looked, and they had just a shitty 8x11 copy paper message that said, "We are no longer in business. This facility is closed. No entry without permit, blah, 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 blah." I was like, damn. Wow. So, I mean, we all know that things like libraries and newspapers are struggling, but that for some reason really struck me. It was and it says there's a plaque on the wall there for that building. It says the longest running newspaper in Texas or the United States or something like that. I think Texas probably.
Yeah.
But
that's crazy.
Even the longest running newspaper in Texas, at least, couldn't survive.
Which is crazy, because I know we still have in Gainesville, it's called the Gainesville Daily Register. Like, that's still a thing. So it's crazy.
Well, if you can adapt, you can survive, which is something that you see with like the Fort Worth Library and Amplify 817. They're leaning away from the things that they used to do to kind of serve the community, and they're leaning into the things that are important to the community. So with that adaptation, or just kind of rolling with the punches, they'll be able to continue to be a thing. It won't look anything like it did 40 years ago, but it'll still be the library, and they'll still serve that same mission in some respect, or at some degree, but they'll move into other areas that are more that help serve the community. So but Abilene Reporter didn't get that memo. So anyway, Abilene, there's nothing bad to say about Abilene, except there's nothing to say about Abilene.
Right.
So we actually went to a meeting our company got bought out the other day, and we had to go to a meeting in Abilene because it's kind of the central hub for the entire western side of Texas. So
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Very crazy. So you've been in Fort Worth for 10 years?
14.
14
or 15. Yeah. Kind of off and on, because I was stationed out here at this military base. I don't know. Did you know there's a military base right here?
I think so.
Yeah.
What's it called?
NASJRB.
Yes, I saw the little.
And for us old fogies, it was called Carswell. JFK flew in there, I think, the week that he got shot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. A lot of history there. Anyway, I was stationed there and then moved around a lot for trainings or deployments, things like that. So I've been in and out of Fort Worth for a while, but this has always been home base for the last 14 years.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but I love Fort Worth, and I hate to see any more changes because, as these communities continue to change, it feels less like home.
Right.
I go through Arlington every once in a while. We used to have a lot of family in Arlington, and that used to be the place in DFW where people wanted to raise their kids. It was wonderful. And now it's
not so much.
Just another one of those greasy DFW towns. Sorry, Arlington. Sorry.
Well, that's why I was like, oh, Fort Worth wouldn't be bad, because it's like, to me, it reminds me of like a city suburb. Like, you're getting like the city feel, but it also feels like a suburb. It's not super crazy like Dallas.
Yeah.
So I agree. I hope it doesn't get too much bigger.
And the unfortunate thing is I think it will.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way to stop it. In Arlington, you still have wonderful things. Go Cowboys. Go Rangers. Congratulations on the World Series. I feel really bad for making that comment now.
They're going to be coming for you in the comments.
It's okay. Bring it. I was there. I saw the whole thing. We were more or less kind of raised in Arlington. We started in Midland, made it to Abilene, but we always had family in Arlington. So we were there 3 or 4 times a year.
Gotcha.
Taking those you remember Big Wheels? Are you old enough to remember Big Wheels? Mm-mm. There were these hard plastic, it's not a bike. It's got one big wheel up front, and your ass is almost all the way on the ground. It's got tiny little wheels in the back, and it's just real hard plastic, the whole thing.
Not a tricycle?
It'd be closest to a tricycle, except the handlebars were way up here, above your head. Okay. And they were indestructible. And my cousins lived at the top of a hill in Arlington. And this was the highlight of the trip, because we had 2 or 3 of these things. We started with 3, and I think at the end of the saga, we only had 1 left that still could be ridden, because we were getting bigger, right? More weight on the bike, and it would destroy it. But we would take these things down that hill at Mach 12 and Where were the parents? I don't know. Where were the parents?
On the top of a hill.
They'd be inside, and we'd be out there in the street just running down this thing at 90 miles an hour with no brakes, you know. And the pedals, it had pedals on the side. So once you got the thing going, the pedals would just, whoa. If you stuck your leg out there, you lose a pound of calf muscle, right? So the last one, and I'll never forgive my sister for this, and I think this is why our cousins don't talk to us anymore. She took the last big wheel down the hill whenever we were getting older, and she ran that thing 90 miles an hour into the front of a Buick. The big wheel exploded, and she went sliding across the hill. She was more or less okay, but the big wheel was destroyed.
So everyone was like, you ruined the big wheel. Forget forget your knees or anything.
She was crying, you know, like little scrape on the knee, little scrape on the elbow, and we're not worried about her. We're like,
the big wheel, the last one left.
Thousand pieces. Mom and her hot glue gun. That's one thing she will not be able to put back together.
That sounds like something off of the Sandlot or something.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies growing up. Yeah. We need to know your number one drinking spot
in Fort Worth.
Right now.
Okay, so let me just preface: if classier side, then probably the Magnolia Wine Bar. They have really good drinks.
However, if they're busy and you order food from them, you will starve to death.
Okay.
I died twice.
Not so classy. I really haven't got to explore a whole bunch of drinking places, but I will say Nickel City is a really good one.
I love their food, man.
Yes, well, and I like their they have like this little pina colada drink. Okay. And I'm not even kidding. That thing is so strong. 1 will get you right. 2, you'll be right. But 1, it's like, all right, I'm feeling pretty nice right now. And they're not even that big, and they're so good.
And they're priced pretty well, too.
Yeah.
I mean, you walk into that place and you're like, ooh, shit, I don't know if I can afford this place.
Yeah.
But it's not bad.
No.
I usually go for a yellow belly.
And their tater tots are really good.
I have not had bad food there.
I've had their sliders.
The sliders are what's up. I'll go through way more of those than I should, but they're delicious. I think they might put some illicit substances on those burgers because they're sliders, excuse me. They're amazing.
They are really good.
And it comes out fast. So I was actually across the street at, is it Tiki Lounge?
Yeah, I think it's
know if that's right. But yeah, it's, okay. They don't serve food. They will sell you chips. So I had 2, maybe 3 bags of Lay's potato chips and just wasn't doing it. So they're like, why don't you go across the street to Nickel City? I'm like, okay. So I did. And I don't regret it. Their food's amazing.
Their food is really good. And I'm a big cider person, and I found one of my favorite ciders that you can find at like Walmart and stuff, but I would have never thought to buy it because I never tasted it. It's by Bishop.
Okay.
I had it
It's at Walmart?
Yeah. I had it at Nickel City, and it was amazing. And I found out they have different like variations of it. Like I had a tropical one the other day.
Are you telling me... Hold on. Did I misunderstand you? You're buying sliders at Walmart? Ciders. Okay. I'm sorry. I was still stuck on the food. My bad.
You had the sliders on your brain.
That's where I'm going after we get done here. Yes. Okay. A cider. It's called what?
Bishop.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. There may be something behind it. Bishop, or I don't know. Something. But
yeah.
All you need to know is Bishop. And then they have different variations of it, like I said.
Are you gluten free? Okay, ciders are a good gluten free option.
How do you know that?
That's an odd thing to say. Yeah, my girlfriend, the co-host of the show, Megan, who wanted to be here but she had to be at work tonight. She's gluten free.
Gotcha.
And so I'm starting to pick up on these things.
Oh, okay. Is it like a healthier alternative?
Well, she's got kind of an allergy to it. And
gotcha.
Honestly, and this has been coming up a lot. I'm sorry, folks. You've already heard me say this, but I think we might all be allergic to gluten.
Okay.
Because she cooks most of our meals.
Right.
Okay. I'm sorry, Megan. She cooks all of our meals.
Yeah. Let's get that right.
I take her out to eat. That's how I cook.
That's your contribution.
Yeah. I've cooked once. The whole time we've been together, I've cooked once.
Oh my goodness.
I help. I do help.
Okay.
I'm good with dishes.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll help chop some of the foods to prepare. Okay. Anyway. But since she's been preparing the meals and doing all the shopping for us, and anyway, now whenever I get into like something that's like super high in gluten, like beer, I've got a lot of beer that I really love. It'll make me sick. And I swear to God, it's got to be because...
Is it like nauseous sick?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay,
but
that type of sick.
Not pleasant.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I mean for 12 hours or more.
Really?
Yeah. And it doesn't always hit me, but sometimes it does. And it's like, obviously, because I've been on like a low gluten intake diet, and then I'll do something like that and it'll make me sick.
So you said beer?
Beer is, it's high in gluten, but cider's not.
Okay.
Usually cider isn't.
But is that normally when you notice it is beer or?
Sometimes.
Okay.
And it depends on how fast I drink the beer too. And it's just so stupid and weird. But I really do think that like if everybody took 2 weeks off of gluten and then went and ate something with gluten in it, they'd be like, oh shit, me too. I don't know. Cider. That's what made me think of that.
That's interesting.
Totally irrelevant also.
Well, I mean, I'm like now more intrigued because I'm like, does wine, is it high in gluten or?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think wine is because I've seen her have wine.
Okay.
In fact, so we went to a Harry Potter Forbidden Forest. It's one of those things where like they set up outdoors and you go through this little course. It's really cool. And one of the things they had there was like hot wine, whatever that's called. There's like a name for it. And she ordered that, and I was like, I'm sticking with the White Claw. And she had it, and it was terrible. But anyway, she does drink wine.
Was it here in Fort Worth?
No, this thing is almost in Canada. It was like Lake Louisville. Is that right? Just north of us, up 35?
Lake Louisville?
Yeah, just outside of Lake Louisville, I think.
Never. I've heard of Louisville.
It's basically Canada. We drove for 3 days. We were still in Texas. It was actually only like an hour and a half, but it felt like forever. And we got there. We were hungry on the way, and so she starts looking up places that we could eat, and she pulled up P.F. Chang's, and I'm like, we're not going to make it. So we got it to go. Mm-hmm. Do you like P.F. Chang's?
I mean, it's not terrible.
She ordered some noodles that slapped harder than any noodles I've ever had.
Really?
So now I think she's getting P.F. Chang's tonight for like takeout at work, but that's my new favorite thing. Is P.F. Chang's some kind of noodle. I'd have to ask her which kind it was.
Interesting. I've had their orange chicken before. I haven't ate there a whole lot.
Yeah.
Again, Gainesville didn't have much.
No
like
P.F. Chang's?
No, you'd have to go to like Denton or something like that. And of course,
did y'all have a Chick-fil-A?
We did.
Okay.
It's maybe been there 4 years, so it's not like it's been there a long time.
Yeah.
But when you would drive, if you're like, hey, I'm already in Denton. P.F. Chang's wasn't really one that you'd be like, hey, let's go to P.F. You know what I mean? Like
right.
You had so many other things that you could go eat. So yeah.
Yeah. It's a good spot. I'm trying to think of something local. I've been trying to just promote our local businesses, but I can't think of anything that's local. Maybe somebody could tell me in the comments or DM me or something. Send me an email. But I can't think of anything locally owned that competes with like P.F. Chang's. Right? We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, I haven't really tapped into like the Asian foods
It's
other than pho that we were talking about. But I mean,
but I think most of those are chains also.
Maybe, I don't know.
I'm gonna have to investigate that.
Yeah, find out if Pho and Grill is a chain.
Okay. On Healing? Is that the Healing one? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you want to tell people where they can find all your content?
Yep. So WAVVY Digital, WAVVY Digital. It's on Instagram. And then my personal Instagram can be at socially Gionna. You can contact me either way. So DM, what have you.
And you're servicing small businesses,
musicians, like whether you're established or trying to get more bookings. And yeah. And
you are the presenting sponsor for an upcoming event, but it's highly exclusive, folks. You might get an email from me. This is going to be the first one that we've done that's not like totally open to the public, but you're going to be our presenting sponsor for that one. Yep. So thank you very much.
Of course.
And we would like to get you back on the show with any of your artists that you're promoting or working with.
Okay, hopefully it's more than just Octavio.
Although we do love having Octavio on.
Okay.
100%. But yeah, let's get some more people in here.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Anything for our folks before we get out of here?
Nope.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
What do you got going on tonight? What are you doing after this?
Nothing. I'm recovering from last night. Remember?
Okay, taking the night off. Well, thank you so much for being here, and we'll get you back on the show soon.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks. See you guys. Huge thank you to Gionna Scott. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for being a sponsor. Guys, come on out December 16th. We've got our little housewarming party, grand opening, not opening thing. I don't know what the hell we're going to call this thing. It's our Christmas party. So come on out. Finger Foods, BYOB. It's going to be a good deal. And our presenting sponsor, of course, is WAVVY Digital. It's going to be a lot of fun. You should be there. And if you're a musician and you want to be on the 2024 Fort Worth Roots podcast playlist, come on out. Download your music. Sign our little form giving us permission to use that music. And let's get you the attention you deserve here on the Fort Worth Roots podcast. If you want to see what that looks like, go back to episode 174. We did a little light version of that, just showcasing previous bands that we've had on the show. But we want to do that with your music too. The only requirement is that you have played here in Fort Worth. If you come at me from Dallas and you've never played in Fort Worth, I'm going to tell you no. I'm sorry. Got to play in Fort Worth. That's my version of pay to play, baby. Got to pay the Fort Worth people the music they deserve, and then you can play here on the Fort Worth Roots podcast. Talk about these sponsors real quick. Of course, WAVVY Digital. Find them on Instagram as WAVVY Digital. I'll have that in the show notes for you. And, of course, all of our sponsors are listed on the website. Go to fortworthroots.com. You'll see the drop down for trusted sponsors. I'll be there for you. Cowtown Nutrition, located at 5430 River Oaks Blvd. They offer a healthy alternative to that compulsory fast food craving. You can also load up on your favorite Herbalife products and learn about their fitness groups that they hold on location at Cowtown Nutrition on Instagram. It is Cowtown_nutrition. Pouring Glory, one of my favorite places on the whole wide world, 1001 Bryan Avenue, Fort Worth, Texas, just off South Main Street. It's a PG is a growler refilling station that serves craft beer and award-winning food with live music. Got live music all the time. Dog Park Sunday. Go out there Sundays from, I think, 11 to 4. Take the fur babies off the leash. Let them run wild. Really good place. Love it. Love the food. I'd been going to Pouring Glory for years before they became a sponsor. Y'all need to check that out. Great food, wonderful people, excellent environment. Pouring Glory, 1001 Bryan Avenue. Body Machine Fitness, a place that I have a membership to and need to go a lot more often. I love this place because I know how to do the workout. I do. I can go to the gym and I can carry a little book with me and I can make sure that I record my results and get the gains that I need. But it's so much easier just to go in there and let their highly trained, what do they call them? I'm forgetting the name of it. Inner trainers. It's entertainment with a physical fitness feel. It's incredible. And what I'm trying to tell you here late on a Sunday is that I don't need my book. I don't need to track my progress. I don't need to track my workout. They give me everything I need inside of a 45-minute class, which, by the way, if you can just commit the time to go to one of these classes, it does not feel like 45 minutes. You get in there and you hit like a time warp. You've got this highly energetic trainer leading the class, and you're up on the treadmills, and then you're down on the floor doing workouts, body weight, maybe with some dumbbells, doing all these different workouts. And you've got this trainer there that's telling you what to do, when to do it, how long to do it. And by the time you leave there, you've accomplished something. And every single time, without fail, I always feel like, damn, what just happened? How did that happen so fast? Anyway, it's a really cool setup. Please check it out. Body Machine Fitness is located at 2300 West 7th Street in Fort Worth. What is the name of that shopping center? The West Bank. West Bank Shopping Center. Offers a truly one-of-a-kind fitness experience. Your first class has already been paid for, so go to bodymachinefitness.com. Schedule your first high-intensity energy cardio strength group fitness class with best-in-industry trainers, cutting-edge audio and lighting system. Show up early or stay after the class for the IR sauna and nutritious snacks in the lobby. And then once you get done repairing the temple, go tear it apart. McFly's Pub, 6104 LTJG Barnett Road. 1980s Back to the Future themed bar with a very impressive outdoor area and fire pit. Hang out, bring some friends for pool, darts, cornhole, jumbo, Jenga, and catch a live event. They've got Tuesday nights with Tommy Luke. It's an open mic, and if you're a musician, it's a fun place to do a little picking and grinning. If you're just wanting to catch a badass free show, it's also a great opportunity for that. Tuesdays at McFly's Pub. Check that out. Next page. Wood Post Metal Works. We just got a really badass sign. If you're in the West Fort Worth area and you're driving through River Oaks on River Oaks Blvd, take a little detour. Go down Meandering, take a ride on Yale, and go check out this new sign on the front of the Fort Worth Roots podcast studio. Wood Post Metal Works did this, and it looks amazing, and we're so excited about it. If you go to any of our social media pages right now, you're going to see videos of us hanging out in front of that sign, trying to really capitalize on how badass this thing is. Anyway, go to woodpostmetalworks.com. You can use offer code podcast817 for 10% off at checkout. They specialize in metal signs with or without LED backlighting, fence and gate repair or installation, light steel fabrication, industrial plasma cutting, and more. Also, something you'll see in our videos are these coffee mugs I've been slinging around with our custom Fort Worth Roots podcast logo carved into them. Houck Walker Originals did that. Go to houckwalker.com. They offer a huge variety of unique and personalized gifts, also laser engraving to customize just about anything you can think of. Roofing Solutions by Darren Houck. Y'all have heard me talk about these guys for over a year now. They have been so good to us guys. And whenever it comes to finding somebody that is going to take care of your most expensive personal investment, for most of us, you want somebody you can trust. Go to roofingsolutionsHouck.com, or you can call them at 817-882-6520. Tell them that you heard about it on the Fort Worth Roots podcast, and they will give you 50% off a roofing tune-up. Crew wear, that 817 shirt you see me running around in all the time. I own more than one. So if you guys are wondering if I do laundry or not, I do. I promise. I have a couple of these shirts. And I keep them in rotation. It's the only shirt that I've ever worn in my life where I'd been walking through like a establishment, a bar, and people just stop me and go, "Hey, where'd you get that damn shirt?" Well, there's a couple of places you can get it. You can go to the Fort Worth Roots podcast website at fortworthroots.com. Go to Trusted Sponsors, click that. Look for Crew Wear, click on that, and then buy your awesome shirt, the 817 shirt. Or you can go to Pouring Glory. They've got these things on the wall now. You can buy them right there on the spot at Pouring Glory. So, another way to get that shirt. Very cool stuff. Loving it. WAVVY Digital, one more time, shout out to them. If you need somebody to help you with your social media presence, WAVVY Digital is there for you. And they are our presenting sponsor out at the December 16th little Christmas party that we're not going to do a whole lot of advertising for. We're going to talk about it on the show. We're going to make a few little social media posts, but this is meant to be just for our real listeners, the people that really support the show, and the people that follow us on social media. So if you need more information about that, if you want to know how to get there, DM me, email me, call me, text me, whatever. If you want to email me, it's media@fortworthroots.com. But we are going to be doing just a little get-together, and I don't want a ton of people there. But I do want you there. So come on out, hang with us, take some pictures, get a free hug, and enjoy some finger foods and some live music with Richard Keller from Itchy Richie and the Burning Sensations. December 16th, we're going to start at noon, and we might take this thing into the evening. It just depends on how it goes, but it's going to be fun. And it's the first time we've opened it up to the public. So that's going to be interesting. But looking forward to it. And if you need more information on that event, please hit me up. media@fortworthroots.com is our email. Okay? Guys, gals, we will see you next week. Thank you so much for hanging with us. Y'all have a wonderful Monday, and I'll see you soon. See ya.